Right, take this from a man who spent a large chunk of his youth in recording studios. Making even a single song takes absolutely ages. And that's once you've, overcome the non-trivial challenge of actually writing the things, which can of course take weeks or months or even years. First, you have to lay down some backing tracks to make sure everything's going to be in time. Then start layering every single instrument up, usually with the drums first, going back and recording anything that doesn't quite sound right. Sometimes you'll just mess up because, Christ, everyone messes up, but sometimes things just don't sound as good as they did in practice and you have to play around with new ideas on the fly. This will take you literally days. Unless, of course, you're one of the 10 artists featured here, who, by a combination of improbable circumstance or just sheer creative brilliance, managed to lay down some of the best songs ever written in one giant group recording. My name is Adam Cleary, these are 10 famous songs that were somehow recorded in a single take, and you're only allowed to watch the rest of this video if you're aware of what an insane feat that actually is. Number 10, The Beatles, Twist and Shout. Yeah, law of averages here. The Beatles recorded such a massive amount of material and annoyed so many studio producers in the process that it was inevitable they'd record a song in a single take. Nevertheless, it is still impressive, especially when you hear the context. Twist and Shout is a 1961 smash that was originally written by Phil Medley and Bert Burns. It was recorded for the Beatles' 1963 debut Please Please Me and went on to become one of their most beloved hits. Most of that you already know. On the day of recording, though, John Lennon was suffering from a terrible cold, drinking milk and sucking cough drops in an attempt to try and soothe his throat. Producer George Martin knew that Twist and Shout would be particularly harsh on Lennon's vocals, and so the song was the last song on the album to be recorded. In fact, by the time they got around to it, they only had 15 minutes left in the studio. Recording the song was a do-or-die situation. Twist and Shout was recorded in a single take, after which Lennon's voice was absolutely wrecked. George Martin tried to get the band to record a second take for safety, but Lennon's voice just couldn't handle it. Number 9, The Animals, The House of the Rising Sun. There must be some sort of record here. Something about the single greatest amount of money earned from the least possible amount of work. In 1964, relative unknowns The Animals went into a recording studio and 15 minutes later had changed rock music forever. Now, yes, their version of the song is a variation of the traditional folk song Rising Sun Blues, but still. Plus, at the time, there was quite a lot of opposition to recording the song in the first place, as it clocked in at 4.5 minutes, which was regarded as much too long for a pop single. In the end, though, the label relented and the song was recorded in a quick studio session between shows while the band was on tour with Chuck Berry. In less than a quarter of an hour, one of the most influential songs in the history of music was made, and it's since been covered by Jimi Hendrix, Dolly Parton, Sinead O'Connor, The Beatles, Nina Simone, Five Finger Death Punch, Tracy Chapman, The Supremes, Alt J, Muse, and my personal favourite, Jeremy Renner. Number 8, Radiohead, Body Snatchers. To describe a Radiohead album as critically acclaimed seems a little bit redundant at this point, but nevertheless, their 2007 album In Rainbows was praised around the world for its incredible array of songs. But the single Body Snatchers was released in 2008 and became the band's highest charting single in America since Creep in 1993. The recording circumstances, however, are particularly unique. Not only was the song recorded in a single take like the rest of the songs on this list, it was recorded in a dilapidated mansion. Now, it doesn't actually say haunted in my script here, but I'm going to imagine it's haunted. According to the producer, Nigel Godrich, he believed that putting the band in an uncomfortable setting would create a unique atmosphere for the recording. This is something of a throwback to the OK Computer recording sessions, which took place at the St. Catherine's Court mansion in Somerset. Again, doesn't say haunted, but I'm going to assume it's haunted. Interestingly, the two albums are also linked in another way. It's strongly believed that splicing the tracks from each album together with a 10-second crossfade creates a single, coherent super album. I have never actually tried this though, because who has the time? Number 7, Tupac, Hail Mary. Yeah, Hail Mary is notable for being the last single released by Tupac from his final album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, at the time released under his alias of Machiavelli. Now, that's notable, yes, but not as notable as how fast the song was written and recorded. Though many of the songs on this list were recorded quickly, yes, there was still an extremely laboured writing process, or the song was simply a cover of an already written song. Not in the case of Hail Mary though, which was apparently written and recorded in less than 1 of your Earth hours. Apparently it took Tupac about 15 minutes to write the song, and the beat was created by producer Hurt Bad in around 5. Lol, what a name. After that, all that remained was for Tupac to capture it, which he did in a single take, switching the location of the song's hook moments before recording. Number 6, U2, Elvis Presley in America. This one is a bit sneaky, but whatever, it's my list. According to Bono, he believed that his recording of Elvis Presley in America, which is of course found on U2's 1984 album, The Unforgettable Fire, was simply a first draft, and that it could be improved upon later down the line. Producer Brian Eno, though, had a different idea. Eno encouraged Bono to improvise a bunch of lyrics while he listened to some of the music for the first time. The music in question was an altered variation of the music found on A Sort of Homecoming, the album's opening track. Unbeknownst to Bono, though, Eno was attempting to capture something utterly raw and spontaneous, and used this first take for the final product of Elvis Presley and America. Yes, I know the song itself wasn't, but whatever, this absolutely counts for me, mostly because it involves lying to Bono. Number 5, Bob Dylan, Rainy Day Women. When it first released, Rainy Day Women was massively controversial. During the 60s, songs featuring extensive drug references were extremely taboo, so it was understandable why the chorus "Everybody Must Get Stoned" might be considered a little bit out there. Nevertheless, the song is one of Bob Dylan's most beloved hits, and its recording has spawned a massive legacy in and of itself. The recording took place in Columbia's Nashville studio in 1966 and features a massive array of instrumentation. There's a tuba, there's a trombone, there's a piano, a bass, some drums. Really, it's one of those songs that just can't be described adequately with words and demands to be listened to, although obviously go and do that after you've finished my video, thanks. In essence, it sounds like there were about 50 people in the booth at once, all playing music, shouting randomly and having a lot of fun. The story goes that the song was recorded in a single take, with every musician smoking a huge amount of marijuana before playing in order to get suitably stoned. Listening to the song, it's not entirely difficult to believe that some of the musicians might have been in a slightly different frame of mind, let's say. BETTE. Number 4, Kim Carnes, Bette Davis Eyes. One take, 2 Grammy Awards is a fairly impressive return. Bette Davis Eyes is a song originally written by Donna Weiss and Jackie DeShannon, but it was massively popularized by American singer Kim Carnes, and no, me neither. Carnes recorded her version of Bette Davis Eyes in 1981 in just a single take, and it spent 9 weeks at the #1 position on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. In fact, it was Billboard's biggest single of the entire year, and yes, I'm already slightly embarrassed by saying I didn't know who she was. Produced by Val Garai and taken from the album Mistaken Identity, the song won the Grammy Awards for both Record of the Year and Song of the Year. As instant success goes, that one is up there. Number 3, Elvis Presley, That's Alright. You probably know pretty much all there is to know about Elvis at this point. Snake hips, slick hair, cultural heartthrob who eventually ended up tired, fat, and dead on a toilet. Life does indeed come at you fast. What you might not know is that the first single he ever released, That's Alright, was recorded in just a single take, which is why it's on this list. Originally written by Arthur Big Boy Crudup, and wow, I think I've just found my new pen name, Elvis's version of the song was recorded at Sun Studios in 1954. Elvis, guitarist Scotty Moore, and bassist Bill Black were taking a break between recordings when Elvis began to play around with a more up-tempo version of the song. Moore and Black joined in, and producer Sam Phillips suddenly became interested, asking the trio to start again so that he could record it. In 2004, Rolling Stone speculated that Elvis's recording of this song was technically the first proper rock and roll record ever. I mean, it's definitely not, but if it takes that particular honour away from Ike Turner, then fair enough. Number 2, Eminem, Lose Yourself. Kim Carnes may have won 2 Grammy Awards for Bette Davis Eyes, but Eminem managed to bag an Oscar for his song, so shove it. Released in 2002 from the soundtrack to the film 8 Mile, Lose Yourself was massively acclaimed and won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, making it coincidentally the first rap song to ever win this award. According to a Rolling Stone interview with the song's engineer and mixer Steve King, Eminem, who had written the song on set during breaks between filming, had been unable to spend much time in the studio due to his movie commitments, but was still absolutely desperate to lay the song out. When it finally came time to record, Eminem did all 3 verses perfectly in just a single take, shocking absolutely everybody who was in the studio. And if that doesn't seem that impressive to you, just go listen to it back, and some of the flow in that, in one take, wow. Number 1, The Velvet Underground, Sister Ray. What's more impressive than recording a wildly successful single in a single 4 or 5 minute take? Recording a wildly celebrated song about drug use, violence, and sexuality in a single 17.5 minute take. And that's exactly what American rock band The Velvet Underground did for their 1968 album, White Light, White Heat. It's pretty incredible, really. Across 17 minutes, the band details an entire narrative that contains 8 characters and features transvestites, an orgy, and an encounter with the police. Before recording the massively long song, the band decided on using a single take, accepting whatever faults might occur during recording. Apparently, the recording engineer was so overwhelmed by what he perceived to be absurd that he walked out of the booth, refusing to listen to the material and asking the band to just come and get him when they were finished. So there you have it. Those are 10 famous songs that were somehow recorded in a single take, read to you by a man who was somehow taken 17 minutes to lay down this 10-minute video. Let us know what you made of it all in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching. I have, of course, been Adam Cleary. This is WhatCulture Music, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.